The Portland Trail Blazers are back as we've got Game 5 of the first round of the Western Conference playoffs and a chance to eliminate Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs as we look to get back into the second round. Before we get started, I apologize for the wait since the last episode. It's been a little bit over a week. My main focus has been on MLB The Show 24, specifically with the start of the San Francisco Giants franchise, and that's why this series and the Dragons franchise have not been uploaded anywhere near as much. But once we get through the MLB The Show 24 honeymoon phase, this series and the Dragons franchise will be back consistently in the upload rotation. So let's recap where we were during the last episode because, again, it's been a little while. The series was tied at 1 going into the 2 games in San Antonio, which we ended up winning both in very different ways. Game 3, we won by 1 in a low-scoring thriller with a game-winning dunk by Scoot Henderson with just seconds left to go. Game 4 was the complete opposite. We blew the doors off of San Antonio, winning 120-97. The game started off close, but then we really picked things up in the second quarter, and we did not look back with a dominant blowout win. After the first 3 games were very close, I feel like the Spurs had the edge in each of the first 3 games, and we ended up somehow winning 2 of them. And then here in Game 4, we completely blow them out to put us ahead 3-1, and that gives us an opportunity here during Game 5 at home with an opportunity to close out the series and beat our demons from last year, being that these guys swept us in the second round a season ago. I think our team's in a really good spot. We've been very distributive with the ball. It's been a team effort on offense. Nobody's averaged more than 20 a game. I think our X factors are going to be the 2 veterans, Simons and Porzingis. Anthony Simons finally had a good offensive game in Game 4, and we saw what happened. As for Porzingis, he's been inconsistent on both ends of the floor. Obviously, he is the task of being guarded by Wembanyama and vice versa. We've been rolling with an 8-man rotation, and I think we're going to stick with it. Suleiman, Wisham, and Shabazz, I think, are all good enough to get playoff minutes. But I think the offense just had a much more consistent flow in Game 4 when we only ran an 8-man rotation compared to Game 3, where we were switching guys in left and right, and it was all herky-jerky. So that brings us into Game 5. The Trailblazers looking to finish off the series and move on to the second round with either the top-seeded Rockets or the 8-seeded Phoenix Suns awaiting. And keep in mind, the Suns lead the series 3-1 themselves. So we'll see if Victor Wembanyama, who of course is still injured with the nagging hip, can hope to keep the Spurs season alive. Regular starters for the Blazers, it'll be Scoot and Sharp in the backcourt, joined by Khalil Griffin, who leads the Blazers in scoring through the first 4 playoff games, along with Darius Springer, who's averaging 18 points and 16 rebounds in the postseason with 4 double-doubles in each of the first 4 games. And of course, at the 5, the big fella, Kristaps Porzingis, who wins the tip-off against Wembanyama. And we are underway. The Blazers looking to close out the series and get back into the second round. Springer hands it off to Porzingis, over to Scoot Henderson, drives right side. Layup is no good. Nice defense by the Spurs to start on the break. Josh Hart blows by Griffin, and he is in for the layup to get the scoring started for the Spurs. Tied at 2 now, a jump ball between Sabonis and Springer. It'll go to Sabonis. And Wembanyama beats the shot clock. He hits the mid-ranger for his first points of the day to put the Spurs back ahead. Here is Shaedon Sharp with it. Oh me, oh my! Shaedon Sharp going up, up, and away with the throwdown to tie this game at 4. A very impressive dunk by Sharp. So far, both offenses have really gotten nothing going. There's a nice reverse slam by Kobe White. But both of these teams have really not looked good on the offensive end of the floor. Only 3 field goals each in over 3.5 minutes as Marco Romano gets that one over the extended arm of Porzingis to put the Spurs back ahead. Scoot Henderson looking for the screen. He gets it. Drives inside. And Scoot sends it home. Both teams are really focused on driving inside, getting good looks at the rim. That's been their only form of, well, makes. Nobody's hitting a jump shot. Sabonis, step back. There's a jumper as he gets that one over Darius Springer, and it's 12-8. Griffin drives inside. He's doubled. Somebody's going to be open. Scoot Henderson off the fake. Euro step. Floater is good. What a move by Scoot Henderson, who's got 6 early for the Blazers. 11-12 now. Romano with it, looking for the screen. He gets it. Romano drives inside, guarded by Sharp, and his layup is no good, but he gets the rebound over Springer, misses, grabs another rebound. Springer's one of the best rebounders in the league, and Romano grabbed an offensive rebound over him twice. So the Spurs get to keep the possession alive. Here's Hart running around off the screen. Out to Kobe White for three. Heaves it up, misses, and finally the Blazers get a rebound. I feel like that possession is a perfect description of the first quarter. All defense, pretty much. It's like I'm watching a Virginia basketball game as Ochai Agbaji hits the mid-ranger in transition to put the Blazers ahead for the first time today. Anthony Simons now with the jumper, and the second unit is making some plays here for the Blazers, giving them some energy. They lead by one once again. Scoot Henderson on the drive. Has somebody open in the corner. Darius Springer, the first-time All-Star, knocks down the three. And now Portland seems to be the first of these two teams who've gone on a little run offensively. But Kobe White puts a silencer to that one as he hits the three on the wing. Agbaji on the drive. He throws it down. And the Trailblazers are ahead by three. Wide open lane, as easy as it gets for Ochai, the 2022 Final Four MVP. Rock chalk. Here's Kobe White inside for Xavier Tillman, and the dunk bounces in. I don't know how that worked, but it did. 20-19 now. Darius Springer with it on the drive. Springer pump fake in the corner. Shaedon Sharp. Open three is good. And it's 19-23. Final seconds of what has still been a very low-scoring first quarter as Anthony Simons on the drive has Scoot Henderson open on the wing. He hits the three. Portland really did not start the quarter off shooting well, but three corner triples in the last couple of minutes gives them a 7-point lead through one. 26-19. Neither offense playing well early, but it's the Blazers offense who was able to get out of this funk first, going on a nice little scoring set over the last few minutes. Wembanyama misses to start the second quarter on the other end. Simons, wide open for Zay Logan, who throws it home. Open lane, too easy for Logan as he cuts in for the slam. Victor Wembanyama misses another jumper, that one from three, but it won't matter because LaJason Black is there with the offensive rebound of the putback. 28-21, Levine off the pick. Fires away. That one's good for Zach LaVine as the Spurs look to get back in this one, only down by four. Wemby brings it up himself, gets it over to LaJason Black, coming off a big game 4 with 27 points in just 13 minutes. Back to Wemby, who puts it in. 2-point game now. Blazers looking to call a play, getting somebody open off the screen. It's Shaedon Sharp, corner three. That one's good. Another triple for Sharp. He's in the double figures with 10 as it's 31-26. Sharp's pass is intercepted. He was looking for Logan. Tillman with the turnover. And on the other end, Wembanyama gets the layup. And it's a one-score game all of a sudden. 31-28. It's a football score. Darius Springer is in for the layup. As I mentioned earlier, Springer's gotten a double-double in all 4 playoff games, and he is en route to get another one here with 6 points and 8 boards. Romano floats up a three, and it's good. The Italian stallion, Marco Romano, hits the triple for San Antonio. Springer lays it up. That one won't go. Grabs his own rebound and gets the putback. Glass cleaning, paper scraping, doing the dirty work as it's a 2-point game. Passes tipped. Wembanyama ends up with it. Flies down the floor. He's in for the dunk. Barely has to jump. He's so damn tall. And this game is tied at 37. Big response by the Spurs, who were starting to struggle at the end of the first. Now looking for the lead. Romano on the drive makes the layup. Marco Romano has been very solid as a scorer today. But the Blazers will finally get a response off the inbound. Great cut off the ball by Scoot Henderson. Knows how to pick his spot. Finds the open lane and gets the stylish dunk. 41-39. 3.5 minutes left in the first half. Off the screen. Griffin knocks down the triple. Blazers back on top with a deep three for Khalil Griffin. 42-41 now. Romano drives in. Jumper is good. This game is a lot more like the first 3 games as opposed to game 4. And I think this is going to continue to be competitive throughout unless we get that kind of defense. Romano, wide open for 3. He's got 20 in the first half, 16 of which have come in this quarter. Quickly on the other end, Porzingis off the fake, gets it to Springer through the dunk, and he's got a double-double here in the first half. 10 points, 10 boards for Darius Springer. Romano looking for another 3. He's hot! And Fuego! Marco Romano puts the Spurs up by 5 with a minute left in the half. Romano gets it over to Kobe White. He's going to have to heave this one up. Bang! Kobe White beats the shot clock, and the Spurs are up by 8. They are feeling themselves right now as Sabonis misses. Nice defensive stop by Springer. Out to Scoot Henderson. Henderson inside for Kristaps Porzingis, who's finally on the board with a layup. It's been a quiet game on offense for Porzingis, as it's 52-46. Final seconds of the first half. Really impressive end of the quarter for the Spurs. Romano gets it out to Kobe White, tightly guarded by Sharp. And White, like a freight train, he puts his head down and he says, "You are not stopping me." Abaji heaves it up at the end of the first half. It is off the backboard. And that'll wrap up the first half. A big second quarter for San Antonio as they lead by 8. When we take a look at the playoff bracket, the Rockets recently winning Game 4, keeping their series alive. As for the other number 1 seed, Milwaukee, they are the only team with a sweep and the only team who's officially advanced as they sweep the Indiana Pacers, who really had no business being in the playoffs because the Eastern Conference sucks. So the Spurs dominated that second quarter on both ends of the floor. Marco Romano got hot down the stretch. He's got 23 points. He's been the focal point over Victor Wembanyama, who only has 8 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Sharp goes flying off the pump fake. White does miss the open 3, though. And on the other end, here's Khalil Griffin with space. He looks to go for the triple, and he airballs it. For an offense that's ice cold, that's not the start you're hoping for to the third. Off the pump fake. Porzingis out to Griffin. Inside. Griffin's pass is tipped. He gets it back. 10 to go on the shot clock. Griffin guarded by Wembanyama. That means there is a mismatch somewhere. Or just have Scoot Henderson dunk on 2 defenders instead. That works too. What a play there by Scoot Henderson, showing off his unbelievable athleticism as the multi-time dunk contest champion gets a beautiful slam. 54-48. Here comes Wembanyama. Floats it up and in. The Spurs need a big second half out of Victor. Quiet first half for him despite their lead, as Romano has it guarded by Scoot. Inside for Josh Hart. I think that probably should have been a foul by Griffin. He clearly slapped him, but the foul also should have been on the floor before the shot. Griffin, open 3, won't fall. On the other end, Wembanyama, open 3. That one's good. A 6-point swing off of the missed 3 leading to the make. And San Antonio's up by 11, their biggest lead of the day, carrying over the momentum from the end of the second quarter. Why stop now? Victor Wembanyama is starting to heat up. It's taken him a little while, but it appears the beast has awoken. Lead up to 13. Scoot inside. Darius Springer with the throwdown. Portland needed some energy there. Hopefully that play can help their offense ignite. Spurs back with it. Wemby misses. Somehow gets the rebound and gets the putback. That ball floated right through Porzingis' hands. He has had a rough day rebounding the basketball. Romano blocked by Griffin. He's going to take it himself on the other end, looking to get by Kobe White. And Khalil Griffin is in for a transition layup off of an incredible block. 8-point game. Sabonis misses over Sharp. Gets the rebound over Porzingis. Another allowed offensive rebound by Kristaps Porzingis. And somehow they get Wembanyama matched up with Scoot Henderson. I don't know how the Spurs are getting these incredible mismatches, but they're back up by 10 as Ochai Agbaji misses the layup inside. Good defense by Sabonis. On the other end, Zach LaVine looks to drive in. Spin move over Simons. That one is good. And the Spurs are back up by a dozen. 69, nice, to 57. Here is Scoot Henderson. Off the drive, kicks out. Shaedon Sharp, his 3rd triple of the game. Scoot was looking to drive, but he sees an opportunity to kick it out to an open shooter. Portland back within single digits. Wembanyama's trying to make that not for long, as that one takes a sweet kiss off the glass. 71-60 now. Simons over to Agbaji. He looks to drive in. Back to Simons. Whoop! Got Sabonis flying on the fake. Simons is in for the layup. It's been another quiet game for Simons. He only has 4 points. His inconsistency continues to be the X factor, good and bad, for this team, as Sabonis gets the dunk. Blazers running a small lineup right now, and it's not really working. Scoot, pump fake. Somehow misses over to Shaedon Sharp. The Blazers had an easy mismatch there, and they don't capitalize. Wembanyama misses a 3, though, despite being in takeover mode. On the other end, here's Zay Logan with it. Out to Simons in the corner. That one's good for Inferno. As it's 73-65. Wembanyama on the drive. Too easy. Again, he doesn't even really need to jump. He's so tall. 10-point game. Here's Shaedon Sharpe with it. Looking for the screen from Kristaps. Drives in. It's a pick and pop. Porzingis connects on the triple. Good job by Kristaps Porzingis to sell the screen. Get open on the wing. 7-point game as Wembanyama misses. Porzingis allows another offensive rebound. And it's not even that Porzingis has gotten a lot of boards and has allowed a lot. He only has 2 rebounds the entire game. Shaedon Sharpe with the slam over Sabonis. 7-point game. The Blazers are continuing to hang around, but the Spurs are continuing to add to their lead as Wembanyama's impressive third quarter continues. Victor Wembanyama is alive and well after a quiet first half. On the other end, though, Porzingis with the dunk. If nothing else, at least Porzingis is starting to make some plays on offense, but his rebounding has been a problem. Sabonis hands it off to Zach LaVine. Off the fadeaway. Misses the 3. Wembanyama blocked by Porzingis. Kristaps cannot allow that rebound, but that's a good response, getting the block. And then on the other end, Simons hands it off to Porzingis, who has the mismatch. Doubled. Doesn't matter. Porzingis cannot keep allowing offensive rebounds, but at least he turned it into a block and a score as the lead is down to 5. LaVine, spin move. That one's good. I feel like at the end of quarters is when we're really seeing teams make runs. It was the Blazers in the first quarter, the Spurs in the second quarter, Portland kind of now, as the corner 3 is off for Black. Final seconds of the third. Abaji heaves it up. That one is no good. Overall, not a horrible quarter. I mean, the Spurs were up by as much as 13 at one point. The Blazers have brought the lead down to 7. They've got some work to do, but they've already come back from behind twice in this series against San Antonio. Why not another? Open 3 is no good. Branham gets the rebound, and he gets the putback. It's not just Porzingis now. Everybody on this team is Butterfingers. We've built this team around rebounding. This should not be happening. Scoot, pump fake, floater off the backboard is good. Nice play there by Scoot Henderson on the fake. Lead back down to 7. Wembanyama, turnaround jumper. No good. Nice defense by Enzo Shabazz, who checks in the game. His first appearance of the day. Griffin takes it himself. Layup is good. And the foul. And 1 for the youngster, Khalil Griffin, who's fouled by Wembanyama. Unfortunately, he would miss the 3 throw. And following a Spurs bucket, the lead is back up to 7. But not for long. Another 1. This time it's Springer. Wemby called for the foul again. Those are his first 2 fouls of the night. Springer would make the 3 throw this time, 85-81. LaVine, bucket, and the foul. Another 1, this time on the other end for Zach LaVine. 88-83. Both offenses have looked so much better over the last 10 minutes compared to the first half of this game, as Marco Romano, who's cooled off after a big first half, gets the basket. Springer with the mismatch, guarded by Romano. Portland takes advantage, and Springer takes him to the cup. Portland recognized the mismatch early on the possession, and they're able to make a big play. Abaji, 3, no good. Springer with the rebound is 14th. He's in for the putback, and it is a 1-possession game. Wembanyama, by the way, is cold. He has gotten off to a disastrous start in the 4th as he misses another shot. On the other end, it's Griffin with the reverse throwdown, and the lead is down to 1. Portland's got the momentum right now, but you can't get back that slowly on defense. LaVine with the wide-open 3. That's on Griffin. He's got to get back sooner. 93-91. Pick and pop. Domas, 3 is good, and the Spurs are right back ahead by 5 points with a snap of the finger. 96-93. Wembanyama still cold, guarded by Porzingis. Wemby with plenty of room. Misses the jumper. That's been the story of this 4th quarter for the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama cannot hit the broadside of the barn. Here's the pass inside for Porzingis. Wemby slow to react over to Shaedon Sharpe. He makes the layup, and the lead is back within 1. Sharpe up to 17 points on the day on really good efficiency, might I add. 96-95. Josh Hart off the screen. Passes tipped and out of bounds. Josh Hart was open. He should have let that one fly, but instead a costly turnover. Blazers would not take the lead. Spurs have it back, though. Kobe White. That one's good! And the turnover proves to not plague them. Big shot for White. 99-97, under 3 to go. Romano on the screen. Open 3. That one's good! A few 3s in a row for San Antonio. They're up by 5, and if Portland wants to make this rally, they've got to start now. They haven't been able to take the lead since the second quarter, but it's now or never as Griffin is in for the layup. 103-101 with 2 minutes to go. Grab your popcorn, folks. It's going to be a good ending. Wembanyama, layup is good. Finally, Victor Wembanyama is back on the board. He's got 31 total, but on more than 31 shots. As Scoot Henderson misses the layup. Big stop for San Antonio. They're up by 4 with the ball. Romano drives inside. His jumper is no good. Scoot Henderson with the contest. Springer with his 16th rebound of the game. Nobody guards him, and he takes it to the hole. Cuts the lead in half. We are down to 2. 105-103. Wembanyama dribbles it up for the Spurs. Looking to get some room. Out to Sabonis. Guarded by Scoot. He finds Kobe White. I feel like they've got to look for Sabonis here on the pick and roll, but Scoot Henderson's guarding him well. Romano with space. Blazers switch, and that's going to be an offensive 3-second on Sabonis. Portland can tie or take the lead. I don't think they're going to take the lead here, as the Blazers have not made a single 3 in the fourth quarter. And that's not because they've been inefficient. It's because they're not trying. 10 of 15 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Portland is getting all their points exclusively from the paint. They are attacking Wembanyama, and it's working. Springer out to Griffin. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Griffin blocked by Wemby. Porzingis back with it. No good. Griffin, third time's the charm. We're tied at 105. Great play there by Khalil Griffin. The Blazers took all of their shots there again in the paint. They are attacking the big man, and it continues to work. Wembanyama, meanwhile, on offense, has been a black hole here in the fourth. 3 for the lead is no good. Portland now with it here in a tie game. Scoot Henderson throws it down for the lead. The Blazers on top for the first time since the second quarter. And the Trailblazers are now ahead. 107-105. Spurs call time with 30 to go. We're going to bring in our defensive lineup. Ochai Agbaji replaces Scoot. And the rookie, Ashton Wisham, is in for Porzingis. I think Kristaps has done a great job defensively here in the fourth quarter. But I honestly trust Wisham a little bit more with sole defensive responsibilities and rebounding as well. Believe it or not, I actually hope they give the ball to Wembanyama. In these late game situations throughout the playoffs, they really haven't given him the ball. So because of that, we're going to put our focus on Marco Romano. I think we want to force a drive on him with Wisham inside. I don't think Romano is going to be able to get a good look. I don't want him to create some space and hit a jumper, as he's done a good job of that all night. So with under 30 to go, Hart on the inbound. He gets it to Sabonis, out to Romano. He gets it to Hart, over to Wembanyama. Now the Spurs are going to give Wemby the ball in a late game situation. The game where he's missed like 20 shots. Under 20 to go. Wembanyama for the tie. No good! It's Ashton Wisham with the stop. And the rookie out of St. Louis is fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2. Who would have thought the guy who can close out the series is Ashton Wisham as he makes the first one. And the lead is up to 3. Spurs with no timeouts, by the way. Wisham looking to make it a 2-score game. Second 3-throw is good. Cash money clutch from the rookie, Ashton Wisham, in his first minutes of the game. And now it's desperation time for the Spurs. Wemby with a prayer. It's not answered. Sharp with the rebound. He's fouled. And the Blazers can just taste it. The Spurs led for the entire second half minus the last minute. But just like Game 1 and just like Game 3, the Blazers are going to come from behind, and bearing something wild, they will look to hang on and move to the second round. Sharp goes 2 for 2 at the line. It's a 6-point game with 9 seconds to go. And the Spurs are just going to have to heave up something. Romano to Sabonis, out to Hart for 3. No good. Griffin with the rebound, and that'll do it. The Trailblazers are moving on to the second round of the Western Conference playoffs. They defeat the Spurs 111-105, and they win the series 4-1. I figured this series was going at least 6, maybe 7, but the Blazers close it out in 5. And I think before we take a look at the big picture, let's look at why the Spurs ultimately blew this game in the fourth, with Portland outscoring them by 13 points. I think the simple answer is Victor Wembanyama. He was terrible in the fourth quarter, and he's the reason why the Spurs lost. He was pretty inconsistent throughout the whole game offensively. 1 of 6 in the first. Got better from there, but still shot 4 of 12 in the first half. Then in the third, he catches fire. 9 of 13 with 19 points. And then that brings us into the fourth quarter, where he went 2 for 10 The Spurs played him the entire second half. That might have been the issue. He was completely gassed. Now, while Wembanyama struggled offensively, you'd think that he was a force on defense. Not quite. The Blazers really did not try to get the outside shot going. Our focus was getting plays inside. In the first quarter, we did shoot a fair amount of threes at a decently high rate. But then look at the second quarter onwards. Nobody shot the ball within 15 feet for the most part. And then in the third quarter, we had some more threes, but 7 of 8 from the paint. Very good within 15 feet. And then in the fourth quarter, we went 0 for 2 from deep, with all of our focus in the paint, in the restricted area, within 15 feet away from the basket, and we were ultra efficient. We targeted Victor Wembanyama on offense, and it worked. He was gassed out there, and I guess he has an excuse with the injury, but he's the reason why they lost, in my opinion. As for us, another very balanced approach on offense. 4 guys scoring between 19 and 21 points. We haven't had guys take over playoff games for us, but we have been very steady. Sharp with 21 on 9 shots. 21, 17 and 6 for Springer. 19 for Scoot on good efficiency. 19 and 10 for Griffin on good efficiency. As for Kristaps, weird game. The rebounding was terrible. Offensively, he was pretty good in the second half. Defensively, he won us the game in the fourth quarter with his stops on Wembanyama. So I don't know how to feel about Porzingis' performance. We didn't really get a whole lot from the bench, although shout out Ashton Wisham with the stop and the 3 throws of the season. As for the Spurs, we already talked about Wembanyama's numbers, 31 points, but on 35 shots and just 1 of 8 from deep. 29 and 10 for Romano. He was really good, especially in the first half. Nobody else really stood out. The Spurs shot the ball more. I think that's because Portland had a few more turnovers. We also got to the line way more. The Spurs only took 5 free throws, whereas we took 18. Let's take a look at the rest of the West. The top 2 seeds currently trail 3-1, and obviously our focus is on number 1, Houston. They're going up against the Phoenix Suns here in Game 5, and the Rockets in a close one. We'll take this one. Houston looks like they're back in the series. They've won 2 in a row. That brings us to a pivotal Game 6 in Phoenix. The Suns feel like they can't really afford to lose it, and they don't. With a big fourth quarter, the Phoenix Suns, is the 8th seed, are moving on to the second round of the playoffs. And in this Western Conference, I felt like there were 4 or 5 really strong teams who I didn't want to see in the second round. And we're playing against 43-win Phoenix. This playoff run in the first round has been wild. 2-seeded Oklahoma City lost as well to 7-seeded Dallas in 7 games. The Bucks were the only higher-seeded team in the East to win, with 5-seeded Detroit, 6-seeded Miami, and 7-seeded Brooklyn all winning. I feel like the Suns have been very underwhelming throughout this entire series. This year in particular, they weren't all that good. 43 and 39. They did play well at the end of the year, and obviously they're coming off a playoff series win against the Rockets. The Suns have kept their core with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, who have not aged gracefully. And their third best player has been former Blazer DeAndre Ayton, who ends up back in Phoenix after 2 seasons in Portland. He's obviously a great rebounder, and I'm a little concerned about that matchup for Porzingis. They've still got Bradley Beal, they've got Terry Rozier, and they rely on a lot of young guys, such as starters Jace McClain and rookie out of Creighton, Caden Brake. So that'll wrap up the episode. Next time around, we'll take a deeper dive into the Phoenix Suns, and then we'll play games 1 and 2 of the second round of the Western Conference playoffs. Portland has been thrown a bone here by the Rockets, losing in 6. We'll see if the Blazers can capitalize and look to make it to the conference championship for the first time in this franchise series. That'll wrap up the episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.